real business owners.
Guys, welcome back to Real Business Owners Podcast. This is episode 22. It's myself, Trevor Cowley. My partner, as usual, Kale Goodman's with me. Guys, today we've got a special guest for you. We would call her the hair queen. She's killing the hair game right now, and you guys are going to get a little peek inside of how she's been able to do it, you know, utilizing social media to her advantage, and how unique and genuine she is as an individual. Guys, we want to welcome Mckenzie Turley on today's podcast. Enjoy. Okay, guys, we've got an awesome guest for you guys today. We've got Mckenzie Turley. Her and her husband are like, the Ken and Barbie doll of the gym, the fit couple. Didn't I used to give you guys shit for that back in the day? I think
sure.
The fittest couple in the gym or something. So
we're there. We're consistent.
Yeah, I try not to be there when they're there because her husband's arms make mine look puny, So, but tell us a little bit about your backstory and give us a little context of kind of who you are and all that good stuff.
Okay, I was born and raised in Utah County. We lived there for a few years after we got married, and then we've bounced around quite a few places around Utah for several years, and then we landed here in St. George about 8 years ago.
Okay.
It's the longest we've ever stayed anywhere.
You love it here, or do you guys itching to get out? No?
No, not itching to get out. I love change, but this weather, I can't deny it. I don't ever want to go anywhere where there's snow.
Do you hate snow?
Oh, yeah.
So you were raised in the snow, but this
raised at the base
happening.
of Timpanogos, skied every weekend, and then I turned 25 and I can't be under 60 degrees or else I get hypothermia.
I can't do Salt Lake either. I lived up there for 10 months and suffered through one winter, but I wasn't ready though. The people that live up there, they've got the snowshoes and they've got the right attire, right?
Yeah.
And I walk out there and whatever. They got snowshoes.
He's taking tennis rackets on the bottom of his.
Yeah, exactly. I'm over there trying to figure out how to blend in, but I didn't blend in very well. I just hate the snow because when I would get out to go warm the car up, which I never had to do previous because I lived here where it's warm, you're scraping the windows, you're freezing cold. And then when I would walk out in the snow in my work pants, the bottom of my pants would just stay wet for the rest of the day. My toes were froze for the rest of the day, and I couldn't do it.
I would hate that. I actually hate getting in my car in the garage. It's kind of cold right now. This is too cold.
You wouldn't be able to hang out there.
You moved to California for a minute when you opened an office out there. Yeah. But is that the only time that you moved out of St. George?
It is, man. And I loved it. I plan on having a place there in the near future. So
we just got to keep getting richer.
I spent lunch breaks surfing. You know what I mean? I went down and just got right watching the waves every morning, and then I'd go to work. It was cool. I liked it.
So nice.
So you do hair, right? Uh-huh. That's your thing. How long have you done hair?
I actually have been out of hair school for only 3 years.
Okay.
So this is something I found later in life.
Okay.
I actually studied music. I was a professional singer. I toured.
Really?
Majored in vocal performance in college.
Oh, wow.
And I was sick of being on the road.
Okay.
And not having control of my schedule that way. And so about 5 years ago, I was like, I need to find something that still keeps creativity because music for me has been my outlet for creativity. And I knew whatever I decided to do, I needed to maintain that. But yet I wanted connection with people too. And so I've always been interested in hair. I always
loved doing your hair before the shows and getting done up and doing all that.
I grew up with 3 older sisters, no brothers. So, the beauty industry, all of that always intrigued me and I was into it. And so this just felt like the perfect fix for me.
So did you have somebody that kind of nudged you in that direction, or did you just take time off of music and then just said, I want to do hair? Was that kind of your own choice, or did somebody plant the seed saying, hey, maybe you should go do hair?
No, I had my last baby who was, so I've got 4 kids. I had her and I let everybody know that I was touring with and working with music. I said, listen, I'm going to have another baby, and then I don't know. I got 4 kids. I can't be
on
leaving
the road
all the time.
Constantly.
Yeah. I need to do something that I'm in control of my time. And so once I kind of closed that chapter, so to speak, no one really planted a seed. It was just one of those like aha moments, like, oh my gosh, like this is what I got to do. Like I'm doing it. And it was hard because I went to night school.
Yeah.
So I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
I went to school Monday through Thursday, 5 to 10. So my husband's doing the baths, the homework, the dinner, and all of that for 2 years while I went to school.
I couldn't have done it.
So it was a collaborative effort.
Tyler's
for
a better
sure.
man than me. That's
really?
for sure.
He's super patient, but we just decided together, like, this is what I was going to do. And anything I do,
You like to go 100.
I like go all in.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
whether
I am
it's
not
fitness, whether it's singing, whether it's, hair or whatever it is, there's no, second or third gear. It's just go.
Yes.
100%.
He probably still does quite a bit of that too, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Because my wife's also in the hair industry, and I'm always like rearranging my schedule around hers, and I'm like, "What is going on here?" Like, she's like, "I got clients," and she loves what she does too. So I'm like, you gotta give a little, you know.
Even though you don't want to sometimes, because some people are like, well, I only can get my hair done on Saturday at this time, or an event or a wedding or stuff like that. You do like weddings and all that too, or
I'll have girls who, yes, I'm getting married in the spring.
Yeah.
I want hair extensions, because that is what I specialize in. And so, you're always getting that plan ahead, and I can only do it now. And you're dealing with other mothers and busy women.
Yeah, they got their kids,
and
they
so
got school.
Scheduling's a little crazy.
Yeah. So you just have to fit people in, or do you have specific times where you won't take people in the mornings, you only do afternoons, or is it just you fit people in when you can fit them in? Or
no, you got to be real careful. I think when you first start working, it's like you'll take anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll just say yes to everything and anyone, and when does it work for you?
Yeah.
And I started doing that just because I wanted to build my clientele, like we all do when we first start. But then real soon, like within a year of that, I was fully booked.
Yeah.
But I had no control of my life. I was so burnt out already. Yeah. And this was 18 months after getting into my career. And I was like,
I can't go at this pace forever.
I can't. I'm not seeing my kids. Yeah. I had to go back and why is it that I even started this? The whole reason I did this was to have control of my schedule. And so sometimes I think probably in any career you have to reevaluate and go, okay, where am I at? Is this still the picture that I painted for myself when I began? And it wasn't for me.
Sometimes it's dragging you down a whole different path, and you've got to set boundaries, basically. Yeah. And you eventually kind of took a step. And I think that's a great topic for a lot of people. At first, you kind of have to cater to people, right? And then when you get a name for yourself and you get booked out and people want you, then at that point, they'll work around you. But when you're trying to get a book of business, it doesn't matter whether it's you sell insurance or whatever it is, you make time. Even if somebody wants an appointment at 8 o'clock at night, you figure it out.
You're gonna hustle.
And you make those sacrifices. For 18 months, you were sitting there running a crazy life, just taking whatever you could. But then it's going to get to the point where you feel burnout. You maybe want to quit. You question what you are trying to accomplish because it's just maybe not going down the path that you originally envisioned.
For sure.
But then you have to, again, take the reins back and take control, because if you're that good at what you do, people will work around you. But you have to prove how good you are first, right? All the clients that you have now probably don't want to go to anybody else because they get really loyal and they love their hair. They love communicating with you.
Right.
And I think that's probably an important piece in the hair industry, because Kale's wife, Kaylee, does hair as well. When you have a good personality, people want to sit in your chair.
We're like therapists.
Yeah.
We're
therapists. Yeah. Well,
like your bartender and your hair.
Exactly.
We know everything. Yeah. And if you have someone that's just like boom, then it's boring.
Yeah, exactly.
The state should step in and make
hair
beauty professionals sign confidentialities, client privilege information.
The things I could say, but I don't.
I know. You'll know everybody's dirt in town. phone.
Oh, I do.
Oh, so-and-so's doing
little
this.
bits, man. I hear little bits.
Oh, yeah, I'm
and
sure
I'm
your
like,
wife.
My wife's like, there's stuff I would never tell you. And I'm like, I don't even want to know, man.
Yeah, I think there's like a special part of your brain when you're a hairstylist, like you just throw all that information back there and you just lock it up and you can't access it because
you have like a garbage file back there. You're like, I'm going to put that in the garbage.
I'm just throwing that back because I don't ever want that to accidentally come out. So it's like, well,
if you have one too many drinks, you're like, oh, so-and-so was in my chair.
No, yeah, you can't. You got to put it way back and lock it up.
So client, what is that? Client something privileges?
Or
confidentiality.
Yeah, something like that, where doctors can't talk about, or whatever. They're going to have to make, anybody that goes to hair school sign something like that eventually. Or at least give you guys like a couple-month course on how to be a therapist.
Oh, yeah.
So that you can, upcharge just a little bit more. But come in, sit in a chair for an hour.
Don't start talking about your problems unless you sign this and you pay this.
Yeah, there's an upgraded problem fee, life strategy session.
This is what we're going to talk about.
Exactly. What are your struggles? What are you going through right now?
Oh, it comes out even if you don't ask for it, is there.
Oh, yeah. I bet. So tell me, just so that you guys know, the listeners here, her husband Tyler also is an entrepreneur, right? And we'll have Tyler on the show as well. He agreed to that. He was kind of reluctant a little bit. He's like, no.
He's so behind the scenes. He's just like,
Yeah, that's how we were for a long, long time. Just so focused on the work that needs to be done, because when you're in business, there's always just shit going wrong, right? And so you're just constantly putting out fires, getting new, making sure everybody gets attention. But it's been a kind of a crazy journey the last 6 months, trying to evolve and get recognition. It's not like we're trying to get recognition. It's kind of weird to get recognition because like we've been doing this whole time. It's just now we're kind of talking about it, right? And tons of people are benefiting from it, which is great. But how do you guys? I mean, with him being an entrepreneur, you going to school and trying, how do you guys juggle all that with you now doing your own thing? And I mean, that's got to be difficult in of itself, especially if previous you were on the road. How long has he owned his business now?
About 7 years.
About 7 years. So you were still on the road for a minute while he was going through the startup phase, trying to build and grow that.
Oh yeah. So you have to both be on the same page, and you both have to have like goals and know what you want, but also create those like limitations. Like within the past, so to give you a little bit of background, again, kind of referring back to when I was at that point where I was like so burned out. I was feeling like I jumped into this career because I wanted a creative outlet, but yet I was feeling so stifled, like just doing the same stupid thing over and over again. Yeah. And so I pulled away, dropped some clients, and I'm like, I'm gonna get back to what I did this, is to be creative. And so I actually created an extension method that was unlike anything that was out there. And within 6 months, I started getting just like a barrage of stylists all across the globe saying, how do you do this? What are you doing? So I started posting on my Instagram. Yeah. So then Tyler and I were like, wow, like there's
a huge response that you didn't even know about.
Need for this.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously stylists were wanting to take that next step when it comes to extensions. I mean, hair extension is a huge industry right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just blowing up. And so we put together an education system all online.
Okay. So it's just like an e-course then in terms of, so do you have like video tutorials that you kind of walk them through, or is it more audio stuff? What exactly is the course that you put together?
So once they enroll in the course, there's 15 like high definition front seat videos that teach and go through the entire process with a client. They can pause, stop, rewind their education, which up until this point never has been a thing in the hair industry. At this point, you'd have to go to a class. You'd have to take a few days off work. You got to pay for your travel expenses. You have to pay for the course.
Go to an event or something.
You're like that. $5,000 into something to go sit for 9 hours and just be like a zombie at the end and be like, what did I just
feel fried?
See? You're like, I don't even know what happened.
That's a lot to absorb.
I've been to a couple of those.
Yeah. We've gone to plenty of events.
I mean, even in the hair industry, I've been to a couple of hair industry.
Oh, you really?
Ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
With Kaylee? And there's just...
I mean, it's great. It's great stuff.
It's great, but at the end of it, you walk away with so many questions.
Yeah.
So that's where I was like, I want to do this different. And so they do that, but then what we did is during certain places within that coursework, they have to check in with me.
Okay.
So we communicate through WhatsApp. So they have to submit like specific pictures, videos, documentation of their work. First step is on a mannequin, and they have to send that to me. So we included like a mentorship with this whole educational platform. So
and that's came about when? Just within the last like 6 months?
We launched that September 1st.
Okay. So it's like this September 1st?
Like 5 weeks ago.
Okay, cool.
But you've been building your brand, and your hair extensions are like your own line. Like you're building your own brand, right?
But it is my own company.
Okay.
The extension, like the industry as far as education is my own thing. The method's my own, and so the education.
So do you have your own hair extensions, your own line or
hair,
brand?
No.
No? Is that something that you see that you want to do maybe eventually? Or you just
possibly down the line. I mean, right now I've partnered with an awesome line that does things, but it's not off the table, but it's something down there. So.
Yeah, you're just kind of focused on what you're focused on right now, getting that course out there and educating people, and then if it evolves from that, everything eventually evolves.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes you don't want to focus on step 3 or 4 when you're building step 1, 2, or whatever it may be, right? But so you decided to do this course, and from my understanding, just the little time that we've talked at the gym, it's been going pretty well, and you've had a huge response from it just within the last few months.
Yeah, we've had about,
that's just crazy.
Within 4 weeks, we've had about 30,000 visitors to our site looking for a stylist who does my method. So it's called Invisible Bead Extension, so who does IBE. It's crazy all over the globe. And I mean,
Is
I've
that
got
your
stylists.
website? What's your website?
InvisibleBeadExtensions.com.
Okay. So if somebody wanted to go check you out, they go there, or would you prefer them to go to your like Instagram?
Instagram definitely has a ton of just proof and all that kind of stuff
the pictures
about it.
And the final product. Do you have any like tutorial stuff on there, just where you're doing it a little bit but not trying to give out too much information?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, there's enough there that stylists know exactly what to expect out of the extensions, what they're going to look like, what they're going to look like when they grow out. That's one thing in the industry. There are so many different types of extensions.
Yeah.
So many. But what I've really tried to do with this is be transparent with this is what you can expect. This is what they look like at 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks. As it grows out, this is what your client can expect. This is, all that kind of stuff. Whereas up until this point, nobody's doing that. It's kind of like a hidden secret. It's like, this is what it looks like at the beginning, but don't be looking underneath her weave, when she comes back in, because it's bad.
I think that's smart.
Seen some bad stuff.
People respond well to the transparency and the truth behind these products, and honestly, like I've heard, I actually don't know. I stay pretty ignorant to the whole industry, but as much as I can anyway. But I heard extensions are a pretty good investment into your beauty. Like they're not cheap.
No. They're not.
How much
buying the hair,
extensions?
Everything.
Because I don't even know. I'm not familiar with pricing.
I'm sure there's different quality levels, but I know that you can.
I mean, you can get some cheap ass ones that are just garbage if you want.
Yeah, you can look like a doll, like doll hair. It balls up and it gets really gross. And you can get anywhere. What mine run. I mean, the hair itself is going to be anywhere from, depending on how much hair you get, you're going to be anywhere from $600 to $1,500 just for the hair.
Really?
And then you have to chart, and then it's the install, and then it's the upkeep. Every 8 weeks you're getting them moved up. But if you invest in something quality from the beginning, whether it's education for you as a stylist or whether it's the hair, you should be feeling like you're getting that return and that value out of it.
Yeah, exactly. So you're kind of getting what you paid for.
I think that's a great point, too, because there's a lot of things out there, not just this industry, all industries, to where people are trying to hide what the long-term result is or whatever, because they're just trying to, and that's what people are doing to separate themselves. They're just being... They're being honest,
more transparent
they're saying, hey, this is what you can expect with this product. And that kind of separates you from the crowd and builds more of a loyal customer base and audience.
For sure. And I think with Instagram, it's like we say that this is this great community and you can build relationships, but so many of them are so fake and not transparent and not this two-way relationship at all. It's like, I'm just going to put out there this facade of, look how great I am, or look how great our product is. But if you can really use it to be transparent and to actually, create relationships, that's
what's going to set you apart.
And, the engagement factor, within your Instagram. I mean, you guys do awesome with that. You guys communicate and you're real.
Yeah.
And I don't know that everybody's caught on to that yet, that you have to be real and you have to be transparent in whatever it is that you're trying to sell, even if it's yourself, you know, you have to say, these are my weaknesses. Yep. I'm a real person. This is what I suck at. And I've tried to do that. And every time I do, it's like the response is just so much better.
Because everybody has issues, right? Everybody has problems. If all you highlight is just the pretty stuff, the success, not many people could relate to that because not everybody's seen that level of success. And sometimes something that's overly done makes them feel less than.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm not like that, or I'm not like them.
Oh,
and it's like, no, you're looking at a finished product, and that's just. I mean, anytime I'm in California and I'm sitting on the beach, you see people taking photos for Instagram, and they arching their back,
booty pop.
They're freaking looking like
puffing their lips out.
Yeah, they're looking like weirdos trying to get the perfect picture,
right.
and then they go sit there and stare at their phone. And then they go retake some more.
And then add filters.
Oh, yeah, they're smoothing.
And I think eventually, and I think it's starting to happen a little bit. And that's one reason why we have real business owners, is because we were sitting there looking at, Instagram in general, and it's, fancy cars, it's beaches, it's airplanes, it's big houses.
Sure.
And that's what, people are sitting, and quotes, Winston Churchill quotes or Napoleon, whoever.
Yeah.
And it's just all old recycled shit. And it motivates you for a second, but it's not really telling people how they could achieve it.
Right.
Right? There's really no meat on the bone there.
I tell people all the time.
Yeah.
I say, listen, if you put the same amount of work that you're putting into creating your facade into actually trying to create the person that you're pretending to be, you could actually be that person.
Yeah.
You're putting in the same amount of work.
I did that Instagram story. I was like, a lot of people are trying to look badass on social media. It's just easier to become a badass.
Just be one.
Yeah, and instead of just trying to figure out how to manipulate it to make you look like that.
Right.
And it doesn't matter whether you put a facade out there. Half the people will love you, half the people will hate you.
Totally.
But if you're real, half the people will love you, half the people will hate you. You might as well just be real about it and kind of show some of your flaws, because everybody can relate to flaws because everybody has them, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just being true and being transparent. And I see it all the time on Instagram where people have lots of followers, but they're not commenting back. They're not.
Oh, right.
It's like, support the people that are supporting you. Show them a little bit of love, even if it's a knuckles or hey, appreciate you, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's why it's starting to get a little overwhelming at this point, because obviously the page is continuing to grow and trying to keep up with commenting to every comment and replying to every DM, and I'm taking phone calls, and it's starting to get overwhelming, but I'm going to keep up with it as long as I possibly can and still show love. But, that's people just too much highlight themselves rather than what they're trying to do. Make your Instagram about other people, bringing value to them. You have an Instagram about doing hair, and you're showing people here's how you do it. Here's how you could be better at what you're trying to do. Reach out to me if you have questions. And this podcast only exists because we had so many people reaching out saying, do you guys do mentorship? Do you guys do this? Do you have YouTube channels? And we're just trying to, give people a little bit more long form content that they can listen to.
Same concept that you have. You could easily be like, oh, I have these, tricks of the trade and this great hair product that I don't want to share because I want as many clients as I can. I want to keep my secrets. And you're like, no, I want to help people win.
Yeah.
And I think
everybody wins.
I think that's natural. For a little bit, I was like that when I first created this and I started playing around with it. Mm-hmm. I did. I was
wanted to hoard it.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
this looks better.
Check me out. I just figured something out that nobody can do. And I wanted to keep it just for me and my clients. And I've realized, really daily, these affirmations of thank you so much for sharing. And this has changed my life. This has changed my family's life, what your method has done for me behind the chair. And I'm like, how can you keep that from people? If you have something, you got to share it.
Yeah.
And yes, I am making money off of it.
Yes.
But I still think that's okay.
But are you providing value?
But I'm providing value. My girls who, do this, this one girl just sent me a video. She said, I just made well over $10,000. And that's a lot for a hairstylist. For someone who, is just kind of doing your normal cut and color things. She said, I made well over 10 grand the first month, and I am expecting to make way more all off of this kind of extension work. She lives in Virginia. So it's just awesome. I think it's okay to share, and a lot of times you find that mentality of we figured something out and it's our secret.
Yeah.
And it's like you can share.
And you should charge, and you should charge well because several reasons. One, your time is worth money. You've got a craft. You are sharing it. You want people to win. But if you don't charge, they don't value it.
Yeah.
And they won't actually do the course. But they actually pay something and something. You
got some skin in the game, like you're invested.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you've taken your course to market through social media. Mm-hmm. Is that mainly how you're getting it out there, or do you have people locally that pay you for the course, or is it just mainly?
Everything has been through Instagram. That's where my industry lives.
Okay.
It's so visual. It's the beauty industry. You want to see a picture and be wowed, and so it's all been off of Instagram. And we get, we probably get within the first, before we even were taking anything, I had over 1,000 stylists who had signed up, who wanted to take this course before there was even anything out there.
Okay.
I was working on it behind the scenes furiously, trying to get something, put together.
Launched, yeah.
And so, but at this point we have, probably about 3 to 5 a day that we are bringing on, and they have to fill out an application.
So you won't take on just anybody, or
they have to be
what's
licensed.
The application process?
A licensed cosmetologist, but they have to go through the. Have you done have you done extensions before?
Yeah.
What are you looking to find? Like, just kind of
getting to know them almost as an application to understand where they're at and what they're trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm. Just making sure it's a good fit. That they're ready to make that investment, because it is. Like Kale said, it is like a financial investment. Yeah. Anytime you invest in anything, education-wise, are you going to be able to get that back? Do you have, the client base where you feel like you can apply this?
Do you see that as a main concern? Do you get the pricing as a concern from some people? Oh, I just can't do that. I just don't, that's probably, if it was free, everybody would do it, right? So if somebody doesn't do it, it's probably just a price issue, but yet you've got, what's so weird about this is...
Well, if it's free, everyone would sign up to do it, but then they wouldn't actually do it.
They wouldn't follow through.
I still get that.
Yeah, I guarantee.
Just swipe my card and I never see him again.
But what's weird is when you have like a airplane point of view of where you could see where somebody's at, and somebody's taking your course, then hits you up and says, hey, I just brought in $10,000, Emma. You really realize the initial investment's nothing compared to what they're going to get for 1, 2, 5, 10 years in return, right? And so in terms of being scared of investing, I guarantee you, if you guys invest into yourself or in your craft, whatever it is that you're doing, you will see an ROI on that will be positive, right? You should always, that's the reason why some industries have continued education.
Yeah.
Right? Is so that they can continue to get better and better and better at their craft. I think a lot of people become stagnant because they go to hair school or whatever, and then they just do that. They're not trying to add another tool to their tool bag and create additional sources of income. Let me ask you this, because obviously there had to be an investment on your guys' side in terms of, creating the courses, in marketing the courses. Mm-hmm. Was that a scary thing for you guys, or was that just kind of like a no-brainer? I don't care. This is what we're gonna do, because in most cases, most people kind of have a little bit of a stutter step, so to speak, when they're creating something new and there's money going out and they don't know what the result's going to be. It seems like that you already had a list of people, which probably helped give you confidence, starting to spend money and build that course. But what was that thought process? Was that just a no-brainer for you, or was there a little bit of hesitancy on it? Or
we did have like the pre-launch list that we were accumulating. So I knew, I was pretty dang confident in what I had created, that this was unlike anything that was out there.
Yeah.
But as far as the investment goes, you know, my husband and I, he's always worked for himself. He's always been an entrepreneur, always kind of done that thing. So at this point, I understand that you have to put something in to get something out.
You've got to have skin in the game.
And so I was willing to just, and my personality is, I'm just going to go. Yeah. Like, I can't get hung up and go, you know, is this going to work? What is, you know,
all the what ifs that are looming, you're not giving that as much, you're not paying attention to the negative what ifs.
Yeah, because the what ifs, nothing's going to happen the way that you expected it. Like, never. In my little, you know, my plan, it's not even close to what I thought it was going to be. But I think you just have to take that initial jump and just, I'm going to go. Because if you get hung up and you wait for everything to line up, or you wait for the money to be there to then invest. Like, we started cycling through and we started figuring out real quick, okay, it costs us this much to get this lead, but you know.
So did you do some ad tests prior to creating the courses just to see if you could kind of create a lead or create a customer? Or
you know, I already felt like I had that on Instagram already based off of just the posts that I was making. Those were kind of my ads. You know, people were responding and I was getting slammed with DMs and people were starting to share it. And so I didn't necessarily have to put together like a promotional ad. I mean, I have since then, but to begin with, that just initial raw interest was enough to drive me to go, okay, I got something here. I'm going to run with it.
You were already listening to your audience. You already knew what they wanted and needed.
You know, and some people don't have that. Maybe that's why they lack confidence to cut the check or put skin in the game.
Yeah.
And where you guys have the entrepreneur kind of background, you guys are used to shelling out money, right? Like money goes out, and then after a period, in some cases it's a boomerang. In some cases it just keeps
the kite
going.
That you just let go and you go.
Exactly. Like, oh well, that's not coming back. Right. Yeah, but guys, just when you're about to make initial investment, in most cases you will be scared, you will be nervous, but when you finally stroke that check, the nervousness ends up turning into excitement for the possibility of something greater. It's just a matter of getting over the hump of just the fear of spending, because once the money's gone, we've done this many times over with different investments. We're like, oh, should we put $100,000 into that or $200,000 into that or whatever? But right when we're done with kind of talking about it, discussing it, and we cut the check or we wire the money or whatever it is on a new business venture, it goes from, you know, maybe some negative what ifs or some anxiety about an investment to the excitement of an opportunity.
It's like, deal's done, let's get to work.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Exactly.
And like, you're gonna be invested. You're now invested. Like, it's for real. You gotta go. It's go time.
It's just like when you went to your hair college. You know, like you're like, you just had to do it. You're like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do it. You took steps every single day, going to classes, doing your studies. Your husband's figuring out how to support it, and you guys just make it work, you know? Yeah. And then it's probably the same, almost the same process from launching your new course. Like, let's just do it. Let's put the money in, put the time in.
We'll figure it out as we go.
One step at a time.
Yeah. You'll just kind of, I mean, that's just business 101 is
totally.
You start, and then you kind of listen and just navigate the waters as people are giving you feedback or whatever it is, and maybe, you know, take the time to say, okay, well, what more can I do to provide value? Oh, let's add some phone calls in there in between some of the e-courses or whatever it is, just to give people a little bit more clarity, which in a lot of cases, a lot of people that do courses, they want it just automated. They want to sell the course and then just back off. You know, so I think it's cool that you have a piece to where they can actually contact you, communicate with you, and they get a little bit more one-on-one, really because cool. we know a lot of people that sell different courses online.
Oh, sure.
And the whole point of doing an e-course is so that they can create it and then just market it and have this thing that's just kind of making them money where they're not having to continue to do the work. But you're on the front lines with them, you know.
That was a big deal to me in creating this, and it was actually a little bit... it was against what some people told me to do, you know, because it is so easy to just throw some videos out there and you're good.
Sell.
And
let them figure it out.
Yeah,
you know, that's what some people have.
I couldn't wrap my head around that. I didn't feel good about that because I was like, no, there has to be a personal connection. Because that's important to me, just to me personally. I feel like connection with people, relationships is important. And I've been to so many classes where I sat in the back row, paid my money, never even spoke to the person giving the class, and I get handed a certificate when I walk out the door, and now all of a sudden I know what I'm doing. And I just was like, I won't do that. And I think that has been a huge, there's been a huge response.
That's what separates
that. That's what's different is people can feel that, and they know that if you come and you go through this course, you are actually creating, there's a mentorship. You will walk out of here so confident in what you're doing that it doesn't matter how much you pay for that. That's invaluable. And so the price almost doesn't become an issue because
they get that one-on-one
They get that
touch.
value and that security that my investment is protected. I'm not just going to pay this and walk away and not know what to do with it.
Yeah. And again, this is kind of a newer thing for you, and you've maybe already seen it because of the one-on-one touch that you're giving people. I guarantee you, people in hair, they talk, right? They know other people in hair.
Oh, women.
So bumping gums, blah blah blah, while they're doing hair.
Oh yeah.
And then somebody's gonna say, hey, where did you learn that? Do you get referrals from people? Have you already started to see referrals because you're giving such good value and that one-on-one attention?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When we first started, we would see direct correlation between the ads, that I would promote on Instagram versus the amount of applications coming in.
Yeah.
And for the past few weeks, we've actually pulled the ads, haven't ran anything. Applications are the exact same as they were before. And we're finding that it's just starting to build momentum in the snowball effect because of the stylists who've been through it.
Yeah.
Other stylists are contacting them and saying, hey, is this worth it? And there hasn't been a negative
review, so to speak.
Yeah. Everyone's just you have to do this.
Yeah.
So yes, the referrals come. And I think, like you said, it's when they have a personal connection with whatever the product or business or company is. Because of the way that things are done nowadays, everything's online, everything's automated. I think sometimes we get so automated and so much
we lose the connection.
You lose that. And people still need that. Even though we are in a fast-paced society where everybody wants it on their own time, now, there's still something about humans. You can't not give them that personal touch and connection. They'll feel disconnected.
There has to be somebody behind the business, somebody that they connect the business to, and you'll have far more success rather than just putting a name and a logo out there of whatever your business is. That's hard to connect to if it's just all automated. And somebody buys a course and there's no phone calls. That course just might sit there and they might not log into it. It sounds like that there's somewhat of an accountability piece to it. If you don't hear from somebody, do you reach out to them and say, hey, how are things going? Where are you at with things? Kind of which also separates you, right? In having somebody kind of saying, hey, you've spent some money. Let's get through the course. Let's make sure that you're getting value. So do you just reach out to them once a week, once every couple weeks? Does some people you wait for them to reach out? How does that kind of go down?
So it's interesting. I think at the beginning there was a lot of people, a lot of stylists who just wanted to see what it was all about, you know, almost just kind of creeping on it, and were willing to just drop money just to be like,
I want to know what the hell you're up to.
What, who that?
I want to see if I can copy this shit.
But really, and that's a whole nother podcast. But for the most part, because once they would send an application, I would send them out a text. So immediately upon application, they're getting, through a software program that my husband developed, they're getting a personal touch, and they're being contacted all the way through. And so, yes, they're getting texts even from application through, and then within 30 days, if they haven't said boo and done anything with it, then I'll just reach out again, say, is there anything I can help you with? Obviously, I'm not going to force you to do something that you don't want to do, but there's accountability, and especially once they dive in and they start going, if needed, I hold their hand all the way through it. And some people need that, some people don't, but if they're gonna find the value in that, then we'll do it.
Yeah, that's cool. What are you writing down, Kale? Anything cool?
Taking notes? What's happening?
I did.
I want to
a couple highlights.
I'm gonna copy your, but I'm the kid in class that copies other people's notes. So
well,
I'm gonna look over there and copy Kale's notes, and then hopefully come up with mine.
I got 3 highlights. I was gonna wait till the end, but
let's talk about it real quick. I love when
there's 3 things I want to highlight. Is first of all,
curiosity,
confidence. You've got the perfect recipe for success here that hopefully people are picking up on. You've had confidence. You only came out of hair school 3 years ago. You're already charging what you're worth. And that takes confidence for people to do that. And I know because I've heard around town, like,
for sure,
she's great. She charges this, and you know what I mean? And it's,
like I said,
and you
people
back
talk.
it up. And so, and at the end of the day, like, I love that you have confidence, but then the real magic too is you execute. You don't wait around. You figure out how to get what you want out of everything by just making it happen. But then there's a lot of power in the influence too. And that's what with your course. Like, you have other people referring and recommending your course, and people are buying, or they're actually selling your course for you. They're like, yes, eventually, you have to do it because you are giving that personal touch. You are actually making yourself accessible to them, and people are winning with your course, and that's what real fluence is. When people actually get results, now they start selling for you.
Yeah.
And so those are the 3 highlights I was writing down to highlight,
Kel does a good job of highlight. He circles back at the end of the podcast. Here's what I liked about you. And, I wish I was better about that, but Kel's great with that. I did want to ask you, because we talked a little bit about hair events. Like, there's lots of hair events. People, you've paid and sat in a seat. You didn't get the attention at the end. It's just kind of like, now your brain's fried, go home, figure it out, right? Is that something that you would want to do at one point, is kind of do your own events to where you're bringing in, 50 people at a time or 100 people at a time, and maybe doing something like that at a live event? Or is that not something that you really see yourself doing?
So looking forward, kind of a snapshot of maybe next year. So within the course, girls can work towards being a master stylist, which then on invite can become a mentor, which will then be certified and allowed to teach. So I would love to have kind of my little army, if you will, all across the globe. I mean, I've got girls in 7 different countries right now that are certified, that are working towards this mentorship. So I've got some in London, all over the place. So I see that as being something where they do almost like a look and learn. I don't think I can ever do an all-day event and then go home and say you're certified. It just doesn't set right with me.
It's too easy.
It's just too cold and impersonal, and you can't get it by doing it one time on a mannequin. Even if I was there to walk by and say, that looks great, like we get into it with mentorship. Like, I spend a lot of time like troubleshooting and what ifs and if this happens. So that can't happen in a day. So I think, having something like demos and look and learn, hey, you can come watch a live thing, but you will still always be required to go through the online training, have the pause, stop, and rewind education, because that is where the benefit is. And having a mentor, that will always be a part of this program and education.
Somebody to lean on.
Yeah, I just can't leave that.
Yeah, it is smart.
A lot of these events too are just the same old formula where they're like, okay, great, we've taught you all this stuff. Now give us $25,000, we'll come in, help you fix all this stuff. It's just like a big upsell thing.
Yeah, we need more money. Or if you want to become a mentor, you have to pay us. And I'm like, no, you don't have to pay me after you've proven yourself that you know what you're doing. You don't have to pay me more money. Like, in fact, let me pay you to go out and be a representative and an ambassador for our brand. Like, I don't agree with that. I don't think
it's such a more legitimate model. For sure.
Let me ask you this. I mean, do you have like a private Facebook page for anybody that has bought the e-course? And if you don't, I mean, I that's what I see maybe being valuable to other people that take the course. If you put them in a private Facebook group and there's 1,000 people that have purchased the course from you, and there's a community where they can connect and get together, and they all deal with the same things on a day-to-day basis, and they're all therapists.
Yeah.
So this is new to me.
I'm glad you asked that. We actually we had an app built.
Okay.
So once upon certification, they then get an invite to be a part of the certified stylist app, where it is a community of
like-minded women.
I've been to, within my industry at least, I've been to a lot. I'm a member of all the private Facebook, and you get thousands of women who have been to an all-day course, who are confused, who have no clue what they're doing, and they're all sounding off in this Facebook group, and it just creates this like this chaos and a bunch of weird the methods being changed because so-and-so in Louisiana is stitching it like this, and she's trying to tell people.
She's like, that's wrong.
Yeah, I didn't
do it
want
like
that.
this.
And with women, there's a lot of this negative. People will just
almost too chatty. You just want to shut out.
And
the
I'm
chatter.
like, you know what? We're not going to do that. You're gonna get an invite to an app, separate from a Facebook or whatever. So within the app, they can. And these girls have all been through and trained by a mentor.
Yeah.
So they know what they're doing. They can provide sound advice.
Yeah.
And, a sounding board for people that go on. So that we do have ongoing, there is an absolute community being built.
That's
and they
huge.
love that.
Yeah. I mean, somebody that comes in and just barely buys, and if they get into a community, it would be great to have, hey, has anybody deal with this or this client or that? And, I did, and this is how I did this or whatever. And everybody's kind of picking each other up and helping each other out. And so I think that's a huge and important piece to it, is so that when they buy, then they go through the program, they get the connection with you, but it would be great if they had a connection with everybody that's gone through that as well. So it's good that you guys are thinking ahead like that. Now, what's the biggest problem that you're facing right now in your business? Which I think I know the answer to.
What do you think it is?
The Facebook problem, the ads manager, but at the same time, you're still getting the same amount of applications that you were prior to spending money on ads. So
so I mean that's one piece of it, is trying to play the game of of the promotions and Instagram and Facebook and all of that kind of stuff. And I mean one of my issues is that when I should decide to do something, I'm going. Yeah. And I'm not gonna, sometimes I go and I don't think about crossing the T's and dotting the I's behind me. So that's one thing I didn't do with setting up Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. So I had an old account that I use on St. George Yard Sale. I'm selling mattresses off of it. And I'm like, I'm gonna attach this to my Instagram account. And then I started running ads, and I guess I had too much text on a ad or something. That's a thing.
I've had those rejected.
When I promote it, somebody's like, this may something because of too much text, and it's like, why does it matter?
Why do you care?
My thing was, why are you allowing me to promote this if it's against your standards that I don't know about, because there's 55,000 laws.
Yeah. And
yet my
terms and
son
conditions.
gets porn in his Instagram every single day, but you're going to shut me down.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's an issue.
Process.
But it's just, my suggestion is, if you're going to start doing something, just make sure that all of those, your business page is verified. You've got all that kind of stuff. But honestly, my biggest thing is the copycats. That's my biggest frustration is a lot, someone will see a picture of something and then they think that they can do it, and then they start using, my terminology and everything like that. And yes, I mean, I'm trademarked, patent pending, copyright, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But at what point do you exercise that legal,
you would just drive yourself crazy to try to chase down everybody that's trying to copycat.
Yeah, and I tried for a few, and it literally ate me alive. Yeah. I just couldn't handle the negativity.
Well, I've seen people on Instagram. Well, I guess I haven't. My wife has. She follows a few, whatever bloggers or whatever, doing the woman thing, right? Following other people that, do cool shit. Yeah, dress it. They got a big house. They sit on the beach, take pictures. My kids are always perfect. Their hair's never a mess. They've never peed their pants.
Yep.
Shit like that. So, but she's like, this one girl that she felt, she's like, she's so annoying. Watch this. And she'll show me. Somebody else posts what they post, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, I found this thing on Amazon. And then 3 hours later, this girl is basically taking everything that this other girl is doing. And so she's doing all the work, but she's just, she found these shoes or this hat or this shirt or this. And so then she goes to Amazon, looks at it, and does her own swipe up and buy so that she can get. So she's letting somebody else do all the legwork, all the research, taking the pictures, modeling it, whatever, saying swipe up and buy. And then there's this other girl over here that's just doing the lazy way of it and just being like, oh, cool.
It's great idea. Thanks. Go ahead, take that.
Yeah. And she showed, I found these at Costco. You guys should check it out. And then you go over to this other one. Hey, I just found these at Costco. And it's like,
but I just came across.
It's like, damn.
It's super
this
frustrating.
Copycatting.
But there is some positives to it. I mean, obviously,
it means you're doing something.
Obviously,
right?
You should take it as a compliment. But at the end of the day, like, those people lack so much creativity, they're probably never gonna win, and it's just gonna create more loyal customers for you in the long run. And it probably is gonna drive you a little bit to keep, doing your best, And so there is some positives to it if you reframe it. But I totally see the frustration with that.
It's frustrating, and you can get caught up. You can get caught up in anything negative, whether it's the copycats or whether it's the issues with Facebook and whatever it is. But there's so much positive and stuff that I am in control over.
Yeah.
And the more I just circle it back to that, I'm like, hey, she's doing this. I can't control what she's posting or what she's saying she's teaching now, whatever it is. And so I just, if anything, I've turned it into, okay, that drives me to be more authentic and more like, you can't copy me. You can't copy my experiences, what I've been through in my life that has brought me to where I am. You can try and copy my ideas or whatever, but what I put into this and the way that I've structured it and the way that the relationships and that part, you can't do that because it's not coming from the same place. So, as much as I can remind myself of that, I think in any business, you bring stuff to the table that's uniquely you, and you might be in the same industry as, obviously we all have competition no matter what we do.
Absolutely.
But to have confidence, like you said, and hey, like, this is me, and I'm, I have something to offer, and it's different than that kind of just like put some muzzle on all the other noise.
People, copycatting anyways, they're behind, right? Like, they're other people are, creating, and you're being genuine about what you're doing and all that, and like this, you can't, they're not going to be able, people are buying you, whether you like it or not, right? People are buying you. Yes, they want an end result to be able to make more money, but you are what they're investing into, right? Because they don't have anything tangible immediately. They don't know what's in the course. They don't, they're trusting you as the individual that's behind it. Yeah. And that's who they're really buying, right? And that's why building relationships in business or in general is so important, because they can copy an image or copy the verbiage, but they can't be you, and so that's just a good message in general. Just be authentic and be yourself. We've seen people, uber dressed up and speak on stage, and we've seen guys that, have gone to jail and turned their life around, and they're on stage swearing, and they're just being themselves. But, that might turn some people off because they curse or this, that, but they're just being authentic to who they are, and in most cases it just resonates with people, and they do a lot of business because of it. You can tell if you can dress up a turd, but it's still a turd, right?
Still stinky.
It's still a stinky ass turd, so it might look pretty with hair extensions,
we can put some extensions on that.
Yeah, exactly. It'll make it look good.
It'll look real good.
So her next business venture will be beard extensions, so that should get the guys excited out there. If you've got beard problems, she's about to solve that.
You got the summer beard, some here, some there. I can make it all.
Yeah, we're gonna get you guys up to par in your beard game. Look like ZZ Top or something.
Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah. Just call it something like that.
My company, it's Invisible Bead Extensions. So maybe we can go Invisible Beard Extensions.
There you go.
Like you just add a letter and you got a whole new.
Me and Kale will rep it on a podcast. You just come in and,
Yes.
Clip it in.
Grow it out a little bit.
You got to grow it out a little bit so I can have something to attach it to.
Well, I can't go through the weird phase. That's why I need you to come up with extensions
mine all
that
curls in and then it's like never doesn't go down. So
I wish I can get past that awkward phase. So just to end the podcast, what's one piece of advice that you would give a young entrepreneur, because you've seen, all the stuff that your husband's done, you're doing your entrepreneur stuff. There's obviously struggle, throughout the whole process. But, and young doesn't mean 18. It just means young in the business game, sure. Right? So what's one piece of advice that you would give somebody that's, either thinking about starting their own business or maybe new and going through some of those startup struggles?
I think the main thing for sure is just to don't forget the power of you and being just authentic. And no matter what it is, like we've talked about, don't forget that people need to feel a connection with not something, but someone. So whatever it is you're selling, they're not going to respond and jump on and grab onto that thing as much as they will another person. Yeah. So involve yourself. And this was hard for me because I'm a very, very private person. And up until this venture, I am like, don't even close the doors. Like, you don't know me. I don't have any, so this has been hard for me, but it's actually been, it's been good. It's been rewarding, and it's forced me to either evolve or repeat. And either I was going to be the shut-in that was just very private, or I'm going to put stuff out there. And this is what I've learned, and this is what I've been through. And you can apply the things that you've been through to any startup, any business, anything like that. And I think that's super important, to just be authentic and don't try and be somebody else. That even if you admire that person, that's awesome, that's great, but you are still you. And dig deep, find those experiences, the things that make you, and put them out there and put them to good use.
The things that you fear putting out there are going to be usually the things that resonate the most with somebody else.
Yeah, we all have our stuff, you know? And
put your shit out there and watch people gravitate towards it, because it actually shows that you're just being real, like we've talked about. And to, kind of circle back and agree with you on your point. I mean, if I'm going to go buy a car and I hate the car sales guy, even if I want that thing, that car,
you're so
I don't want to buy it from him. I would rather leave and buy that same car online or go somewhere else and vibe with somebody, because I don't want that person to make money, because I don't want to reward them for being shitty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so creating those real connections, whether you're selling a car, selling houses, hair extensions, whether you sell accounting services, whatever it is, there has to be some form of connection. And when you create that connection, you're creating a customer, right?
For life.
Exactly.
A loyal
one. And somebody that will shout your name from the mountaintop. Oh, I learned from her. I learned from, you know what I mean? Rather than them trying to teach and charge for themselves. In most cases, if they really do like you and appreciate you and all the value that you brought, they're just going to refer people to you rather than trying to, copy and paste it.
Absolutely. Well, and to touch on the copy thing too, like people, don't go out and copy people's business models. That's lame. But if you want to copy things, go copy, what your habits are, your skills are. Like, she's an executor, she's an influencer, she's got confidence. Like, those are the things you should be emulating from people that you do look up to. And so I think that you should share with people how they can find you.
So my Instagram is at hair.extension.queen.
Hair dot
like a period.
Hair, just a period. Hair dot extensions
extension dot queen.
It don't matter if you're male, female, you want to watch people that are successful. You know what I mean? So give that page a follow.
You can always learn from other people, even if you're not in that craft, just the way that they're promoting themselves and things like that. And again, you put your own unique spin to it, right? We saw people, being influencers and we were paying people to talk about easier accounting, and we kind of looked at each other and said, well, why don't we just become our own influencers?
Yeah. We already do this every day, man.
Yeah,
we run sales teams. We talk about leadership. You know what I mean? But we're also learning from some of the greatest out there as well.
Yeah. Guys, I know you got value, or guys and gals, I should say, right? I just need to be a little bit better about that. But when I say guys, I mean everybody.
It's a universal.
Are you one of those people, if somebody says guys, that you feel left out? Or is it just kind of like...
No.
You just... Okay, good.
I'm in.
So guys, I know that you guys got value today out of the podcast. Make sure that you go check her out on the hair.extension.queen. Send her a DM if you have any questions. If you're interested in her course, again, send her. Is that the best way? Is DM, or do you have an email button as well?
If you're interested in the course, there's a link to the application, a little bit more information about the educational course on my Instagram. Okay. But yeah, I'm always responding to DMs. I never leave any question unanswered. Maybe it's my OCD, but I can't.
Yeah, when you see a notification, I
have to answer this.
I'm the same way.
So I'm on it.
Try to get to it as best as I can, but make sure you subscribe to the the podcast, subscribe to it. Make sure you rate and review it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Have a good rest of your day.